Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. It's so greatly appreciated. Truly is. Before we get started, let me give you my usual disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. Please do not take what I say as facts. Please always do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Next, if you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. Okay, so before we get started, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I was feeling sorry for myself for some reason. Whatever. Not the point. I was feeling sorry for myself. So I came across this. Look at this tumbler. And it has my name on it. And it says, when life gives you lemons, make pink lemonade. Don't be a sour bitch. And look at the top. Is that not the cutest thing ever? And the only reason that I'm doing it is because I actually literally just opened it like right before I sat down to do this. And it was so cute. Let me show you the girl. And the girl that, she didn't ask me to say anything. She doesn't even know I have a channel. But it was so adorable. I loved it. So I wanted to share it with you guys. It's the Copper Peony Company. If you want to check her out on Etsy, it's just adorable, right? Okay. Anyway, we're talking today about Abby Choi. 28-year-old socialite Abby Choi was born on July 15th, 1994 in Hong Kong. She was the oldest of 4 daughters and described as a kind and giving person. She was born into a very wealthy family. Her parents actually owned a construction business. But not that it really mattered because Abby made her own money, millions of her own money. She was featured on the cover of the magazine of El Oficial Monaco in January of 2023, with the magazine describing her as, quote, a style icon and media personality who took the world by storm with her impeccable sense of style, unbridled passion for fashion. A true trendsetter that carved a name for herself as one of the most sought-after influencers in the industry. She was in magazines that included Elle, Vogue, and Harper's Bazaar. She was also seen with celebrities that included record producer Pharrell Williams. She was an animal lover and she co-founded Hong Kong's Payomas Charitable Organization and Animal Rescue Organization. Okay. So in 2012, when Abby was just 18 years old, she married 18-year-old Alex Kwong, and the couple would go on to have 2 children together, a son and a daughter. Alex was a known con man and has been on authorities' radar since 2015 for running a $5 million gold scam and even jumped bail on a jewelry theft charge that he had. He would trick people into investing tons of money with the belief that they would make back their money plus. And it was just all a scam. Abby, on the other hand, was a very successful worker, and she was actually successful. On top of this, she even hired her brother-in-law, Anthony, to be her driver, partly because she trusted him, they were extremely close, and because she wanted to help him financially. And she needed a driver anyway, so she figured who better than Anthony. Even if you look, there's pictures of them together. They seem to be very close. In one of the pictures that is posted, he even refers to her as sisters. In 2019, she even bought her ex-in-laws a $73 million home in Hong Kong dollars, which is about $9 million in US dollars. The home was 4 bedrooms, 1,800 square feet, and located in a very exclusive neighborhood of Hong Kong. Her ex-father-in-law, 65-year-old Kwong Kao, was a police lieutenant for many years. He even received a medal for his long service in 2001. That was until he was asked to retire for what is alleged to be SA accusations. So what am I talking about, right? Okay. A female victim walked into the police station one night to report an attack of SA. Kwang Kao was the officer that took her statement, and it is said that he was so comforting to her, he listened to her, and he just made her feel like he was really going to get justice for her. One night, Kwang Kao showed up to the victim's home at 2 o'clock in the morning, and she let him inside the home. I think the reason, even though it seems kind of strange, I don't think she was thinking that. I think she was thinking, well, oh, this is my officer. Maybe he has an update on my case. Maybe they caught somebody. She trusted him. Well, that was not the reason that Kwang was at her house that night. The reason Kwang Kao was there that night was to sexually assault her, the very same SA victim that he was supposed to be getting justice for. Awful. You piece of shit. You piece of crap. She was also very close to her ex-mother-in-law, 63-year-old Jenny Lee, and the two would even lunch together from time to time. Alex and Abby would end up divorcing in 2015, and Abby would go on to marry a man named Chris Tan in 2016. He also came from a very wealthy family. His father founded a successful chain of noodle shops in Hong Kong and China. The couple never got married, but they did have like a commitment service, and they would go on to have two children together, a son and a daughter. So, in 2022, Abby went to the family, her ex-in-laws, and told them that she was planning on selling the home she had purchased for them.
Investigators believe the 28-year-old woman had financial disputes involving tens of millions of Hong Kong dollars with her ex-husband and his family.
Her friend would come forward to say that Abby told her that they threatened to kill her if she sold the home on them. But she wasn't going to sell the home and leave them out on the streets. Like, she would have made sure that they were somewhere else. This seems to be the motive for what happened to Abby. In early February of 2023, the family rented a flat in Pop Village, Hung May, too soon. After getting the flat, the family would spend their time turning the flat into a kill room, covering the walls, floors, and ceilings with a sail. They also covered the door and the windows with like a black tarp thing. February 21st, 2023, her brother-in-law picked her up in her 7-seater car to take her to retrieve one of her children and then bring her back to the home that she shared with Chris Tan. Abby was seen on CCTV that day wearing a white top, white pants, white shoes, and a purple Hermes bag. Just as they were about to enter the Lion Rock Tunnel, the car suddenly pulls over and Abby's ex-husband enters the vehicle. What happens after that is not really known. But when Abby fails to return home, her husband Chris reports her as missing. When police go to speak to the Kwang family, they completely lie to them and essentially send them on a wild goose chase, making them follow up on false leads. That's a good way to get themselves caught. I'm just saying. It's a great way to get fucking caught. February 24th, 2023, police raided the 2-bedroom flat. Police officials would later say the room was arranged meticulously by cold-blooded killers. Tools that are used to dismember human bodies were found in the flat, including meat grinders, chainsaws, long raincoats, gloves, and masks. The suspects covered the walls of the flat with sails, and they put on face shields so that they would not get bloodstained by dismembering the body. End quote.
櫃裏邊，我哋發現到人體嘅殘肢， 亦都發現呢部分受害人嘅財物、身份證同埋信用卡。
There was nothing in that apartment that people need on a daily basis. The only sort of appliance that was in the apartment was a small refrigerator. So, police open the fridge and they find 2 human legs that would later be linked to Abby. They also find 2 soup pots that contained carrots, onions, radishes, broth, and a meat-like substance. Oh God. When the soup pots were examined more closely, they found ribs and a skull with a hole in it. So that means that Abby was obviously hit in the head. They don't know if that killed her or if they don't know how long she was even alive for. Hopefully it did, and she didn't have to be alive very long, because that's just awful. 66-year-old Kwong Kao and her 31-year-old brother-in-law, Anthony Kwong, were immediately arrested and charged with the murder of Abby. 63-year-old Jenny Lee was charged with 1 count of perverting the course of justice. Ex-husband Alex was nowhere to be found, and the hunt for him was on. He would later be found hiding out in a luxury apartment. When they found him, he had $500,000 in cash and watches on him, and he was planning to escape by speedboat. Like, this is some, like, TV, this is TV shit. Like, this, you can't make this up. You just can't make this up. But there's even more people that are arrested. That's the one thing about Hong Kong. They don't play. They do not play over there. Like, oh, you shook Kwong Kao's hand? Okay, let's go. You're going to jail. Like, they don't fuck around. Maybe that's why they have such a low crime rate, because they don't play. Good for you, Hong Kong. You should give the United States a few tips. I'm just saying. 41-year-old man named Lam, who was a friend of the ex-husband, has been arrested for attempting to help Alex flee in exchange for money. A 29-year-old influencer, social media influencer, who is not being named, was arrested for attempting to help Alex flee by boat. A 47-year-old masseuse, who was sleeping with Alex Kwong's father, was arrested for helping the family to rent the apartment that Alex was found hiding out in, and to rent the apartment that everything went down in. Co-workers of the masseuse have said that after she cut her hours drastically, she began boasting about dating an old man that wanted to pay her bills with his dead daughter-in-law's money. I mean, basically, that's basically what he was doing. I mean, let's be real. The remainder of Abby is still missing, and police are searching landfills along with places that the family have recently visited for her arms and torso.
Searched a landfill and grueling for the missing remains of model Abby Choi, whose dismembered body was discovered last Friday. Choi's family took part in a Taoist ritual outside the village home where other body parts were found. Macy Mock reports.
Abby Choi's mother and the model's husband Chris Tam held hands when they arrived at the Tai Po village house where body parts were found. The house in Long Mei village remains sealed off. People paid tribute to the 28-year-old victim by performing a Taoist ritual behind the police cordon. Tam burnt incense and bowed.
At the time of her death, her children with Alex are 10 and 8, and her children with Chris are 6 and 3. So they're just all babies. 4 babies lost their mother because you're greedy pieces of crap. Is basically what the entire thing comes down to. You're greedy pieces of shit, and now 4 babies are left without their mother. The ex-in-laws are being held without bail and are due back in court in May of 2023. All right, guys, if you're still here, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, and I appreciate you so, so, so very much. If you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. And until next time, stay safe out there.